全体の 6.7%、全国で 6.3% 確保される見通しだとしています。
What's up, guys? Turn down my levels here. Alright, so last time we left off, we got an understanding of how to make the first 2 versus 2 character die appropriately and follow the rules to comply with death. So we're going to write that piece, and then we are going to make sure that adjust and fix the velocity.
What's your name, pretty boy?
Alright, so
Be free.
the first thing we got to do is we've got to order the character status in their control location by 40, and that will make him die. Alright, so we gotta find out is where his location is gonna be at this point, so we can make that happen. Because in this process, we are in the match, like timer health check process, ID 5. So we'll have to look up what character died, so we know who to kill off. Alright, so right now, let's see, let's make sure, let's get layer 2's process here, because we want to see what is stored in his current location for which control structure. I want to make sure that our tag isn't swapping our new control thread in first, so we don't kill the new guy accidentally. That'd be a shame. Alright, so let's see, we have Teen CO. Alright, there we go. So this is player 2. I got a bookmark, breakpoint. No breakpoint, okay. So what we'll do is we'll come down here, we'll put a breakpoint here where we're expected to Alright, excellent. So we still have the old characters still have the old character's control structure in our in RAM. What's up there, Master? How you doing? Just getting off work, I bet. Same here. Alright, so let's do this. Since we're gonna have a little code of addresses for which side dies, we can just put in the control location here and shove in the OR command at offset 210. It's all the same, Master, because if you donate through Streamlabs, it just does PayPal. So it's the exact thing. It's the exact same thing. Like Tyrone donated 20 bucks to me today, which is great. I appreciate that, Tyrone. So it came through as PayPal, but I'm assuming he used the Streamlabs link, which also gave him recognition. So I figured I would put an event list up there for people that were nice enough to do that for some recognition there, because I surely appreciate it. So let's see here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep like I'll keep a list of contributors. I know I want to make sure we mention and acknowledge that in the credits of the project. If you wanted to donate to the project, you'll definitely be recognized. Sweet, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, so we can move the address of, let's see, control. And we'll use A7. So what we'll do, if player 1 dies, let's mark this player 2 died. So we'll actually need player 2 control thread into A7. And then this will be player 1. And so at the end we will take that location at A7. We'll move the value at A7 and A7, so I got a control process, and then we're going to move the value at A7 offset 210. I think it was 210. Let me check.
The only thing that you and I have in common, Mr. Creedy, is we're both about to die. How do you imagine that's going?
Print status up. Okay, 210. So we will take the value at 210 and move that into, let's do we'll do A9 since that should be free now. And then we'll OR that by 40. That tells us that, hey, our guy's in the dead status, so make sure we kill him, and move that value A7 back to offset of 210, and get control process. Change status to dead. Alright, so the way that goes, we should still be good here. We're still retaining our register in A1, which we need, because that's going to be our our instance ID for the flip in process, and oh, actually we can't use A9 because actually we can if we go up here. We'll update our fighters there, and that'll allow us to reuse register A9, and that should kill him, but that doesn't fix the velocity thing.
It's a test designed to provoke an emotional
Yeah,
response.
tag team is it's a whole new ball game. There's a lot you can do.
Describe in single
I still
words.
feel like there's
Only the good things that
a
come in
big
your
audience that is not
About
aware
your mother?
of the tag feature.
Let me tell you about my mother.
Once that catches on, it's going to be great. Hopefully you guys can get it online multiplayer. Alright, so that should update our remaining fighters, update our status to dead for our dead guy. And then it should create the flip-in routine for our new guy coming in and start the match process. Over. Alright, like I said, that's not going to fix the velocity. Like if I were to uppercut Scorpion right now, with that fix, he'll still go flying off the screen. But what that's going to fix is that's going to fix him going back into his fight stance. So rather than him going to his fight stance, he should fall backwards. And then after that, we would fix the velocity issue where he doesn't land, because when he does land, it checks for his status to see if he's dead to keep him on the ground. So let's go ahead and copy this over. Alright, there's that. Let's get rid of, oh man, that's got a lot of, got some breakpoints we can use. And yeah, we can get rid of that. And this one we'll just minimize. We'll try this out.
Excellent. Kitana, Nightwolf, Sonya, Scorpion. Round 1. Fight. Sonya.
Guess that punch isn't hitting him in the head. Alright, let's save this state. Save state. We will go with 0. Okay, so that's working as expected. So they see that velocity thing obviously needs to be fixed. We'll see you later, Night Wolf. Stage transition for Night Wolf. He's out of here. Okay, so that's good. Okay, check player 2 controls. There we go. Had to find the run button, make sure it was working. Computer's a little slow apparently right now. Alright, so that seems to be working good. Now comes the awesome process of hooking into the velocity routines in the game and making expectations for more than one player. So let's do that. Let's go in here and first of all let me turn unlimited time on, and we'll keep health off.
That was pathetic.
Alright, so let's go back in here. What we'll do, the idea behind this is alright, so let's pull up these let's pull up some windows here for the RAM we'll be dealing with. Let's see, player 2 status. So it's going to be one location for each side. Player 1's going to have his own side, and player 2's going to have his own location in memory of velocity, and you can see it here on the map. So he's moving to the right, so he has the value be 24,000. Moving to the left, the value is FFFD 0000. And let's get Jax kind of down to health here. That may be good. Oh, I don't want to throw too much. There we go, perfect. So let's do this as well. Let's get his object structure, and you can kind of see the same thing happen here. See the same values in his object structure. So what's happened is these values here are not being updated any longer because there's one looping routine in the game that applies gravity, and it does it from a static location. Well, it doesn't do it from a static location. It does it to the object which is in player 2's static object location. So currently it's 103.8E80, but as soon as the next character comes in, changes it to the new address, which is 103C840. So if we were to jump up with Jax right here, you would see, well, let me pause it at the right time. You can see right here, this is his velocity, and there's his vertical location. So behind the scenes, there's a routine that's looping, that's kind of our gravity applier, and it's going to apply the gravity value to this value here until so this is 0. I'm sorry, it's going to keep going, and it's going to keep applying that value until it sees that Jax is back on the ground. So that's why that last hit, our guy goes flying off the screen with no gravity whatsoever, because his object is no longer in the player object location that it's expected to be. There's actually a new one, a new fighter coming in, so that gravity routine is applied to that new fighter. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break into the velocity routines, and we're going to make an exception for more than one character on each side, and that should fix that problem. Sindel actually got nerfed, Michael. We're nerfing Sindel. Yep, sorry. We gotta nerf her. Alright, so let's go to our offsets here. And our object table is the same between the games for the most part. You see right here is our gravity value. And you see Jax has a little gravity going on there. So if we were to go into this routine where our E2E2 flip in, where our character gets their object swapped out, and we were to play with that this would be the sufficient break, so we'll put a breakpoint there. This should be after this character gets swapped out here. So we'll do like an uppercut. And indeed, that is already transferred over. And you can see Jax's gravity is 6 over here, 6,000. So there's nothing to bring him back down right now. You can see his location keeps going and going and going. Going and going and going. So we can do that, and we can ground him. See you later, Jax. So that's why it is how it is. So we're gonna fix that. So let's see, we can do (103.8EFO). We can do All right, so this is the velocity routine here. Let me expand this so you can see it a little better. We just had to jump up with jacks to get it to trigger because we have a watch point right watch point on it. So first, there's a magic value here. Usually A1, A2 has the velocity routines. Like A1 is going to have our velocity and A2 is going to be our gravity. So we can put like a cheat in here, like we had an MK2 about like La Luna, where you have moon gravity. This would be where it's done. But it checks for D as a value as one of those. If so, then it jumps it. Yeah, you don't see much flying with Sindel, that's for sure. So, alright, let's step through this routine. Get reacquainted with it because it's been a while since I've been through here. So this is the upcoming routine here. Velocity assignment on location compare. So what this is going to do is it's going to compare which way we're facing. So it can apply the velocity in the correct direction depending on how we're facing. So it's going to call a flag on which side our opponent's facing. And it looks like we totally jumped that and went to the next right, which kind of goofed us up, but we will do so you see A5 has our gravity routine. It's going to add it to our velocity. So it's going to slow our velocity down with each frame. I'm going to start that over real fast because we got jumped a little ahead of ourselves there. Alright, so this is where I want to be. Let's do a breakpoint there. Alright, so that's exactly... Alright, cool. Let's see, let's go here. So I was going to check which side it is we're on. And we're going to jump down here 2BAO, which is FA. Oh, that's way out of range. No wonder why I kind of lost my bearings there when it jumped on me. Yeah, I guess I didn't play much as her. I like her little what was a 3-piece uppercut combo, then jump kick and fireball down to the ground. That always felt really good when doing that combo. Alright, so at this point we're grabbing the object for our opponent. And we're checking his location and we're checking our location, and it's going to set a flag. And this is pretty much useless for this particular check because this is just for horizontal velocity. And that would be an A0 if there were some, but since this is just vertical velocity right here, it's doing A1. So we can jump down here. and this is where it's going to assign the velocity. So this is going to be the tricky part, because we're going to want to see if we're in transition and if the current control status of the player we're dealing with velocity with is our existing character or if it's the one that's exiting. Because right now we are in process 10739BO. And that would be who is active, so that's a good note to keep, is A13 is always going to be the opponent or the control process that is being dealt the velocity. So we can always look to A13 and then do a comparison to see if A13 is our current or our character that's outside, that's exiting. And the way the game originally did it was they would have one control process for each character and one object for each character. And 2v2, it would spawn a new object when the first character died, but it would leave the first character that died, it would leave their process idle. So the way we're doing it is we are leaving the object there, obviously because we want them on screen, but we're going to kill their process, so it's one less process we have to do. What's up, JK? Make Sindel great again. Sounds like you got a political campaign going on for Sindel. If we've already got Fujin flies, right? Is that what it is? We're gonna have Fujin flying all over the place. Alright, so a better place to do this might be, instead of this assignment, you want to check the actual routines that do the adding of the gravity to reduce the velocity. Okay, so let's do, because that we can hopefully we can do this all in one shot, in one routine, because there's a mess of moves that I had to deal with on MK2 when tagging, which was kind of a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie, but thanks to Michael and Ryan with some good testing, they brought those to light, and I was able to handle and fix most of those, if not all. But it wasn't a whole lot of fun, so I'm going to try to take a better approach on this game, and hopefully do something that handles all of that, instead of just the characters that are in play, but even the characters that are out of play. So I'm not playing a big game of hot potato with velocity. Alright. So this is the routine here, I believe. Let's put a breakpoint there, and let's open up watch point. We'll get rid of that watch point real fast. And I was hoping that I can get the call that was right before this, because that is where the velocity applying is occurring. So let's find the address 4B70, And it's going to be this guy right here. But I want to back up a little bit. I want to take it back just a little bit, just to see what else is going on here. Let's go right here, because there's a jump or two. Okay, so this is what's checking our boundaries to make sure our players stay in bounds, and it looks like it's also doing our velocity. So what's interesting is if you look at A13, which usually holds our process ID address, it doesn't have an address. Alright, so let's pull player 1's object. If it's 0, it's going to jump to 4B10, which is going to do player 2. So this FF80 5810 is going to be the routine that we're looking into for velocity application. Okay, so first we're going to pull the object location into A3. It's going to make sure it's within boundaries. Looks like A0 is 3A, which is our left-hand boundary of the stage. And if A3 is greater, it's going to jump down here because we know we are in bounds from the left-hand side. And then it's going to compare A1 to A3, so it's going to compare our right-hand stage boundary value to our location. And if our character location is left than the right hand boundary, or less than, it's going to jump down here, so we don't have to relocate. And then it's going to pull our gravity value into A5. If it's 0, it's going to jump out of here. Let's see, what is our 103 8C70? So this must be, oh, this is Jax. But he has a value of 3E80. Oh, this isn't Jax, this is actually Noob Saiba. That's why he has a velocity. That's right, we're still in player 1's routine, that's why. So, player 1 has 0 gravity being applied to him now, so it's going to jump out of that routine. And we're going to do the same thing to player 2. And these routines constantly loop. It keeps our characters within the stage boundaries, and it applies gravity to them. So if you assign them a velocity value, it'll automatically take that velocity value and decrease it over each frame to give it a gravity effect. Alright, so here's Jax, player 2. That's going to check left-hand boundaries, we're good. It's going to check right-hand boundaries, we're good. And it's going to check the gravity, which has a value of 8,000. And we're going to take, looks like that is the object velocity, the vertical velocity, and it's going to decrease it by adding our gravity to it. So the important thing here is what goes into A2 is our player 2 object in this case. So we got to keep that in mind when we are doing multiple characters, like the one that's exiting the screen with an uppercut and the new one's coming in. We have to compensate for another player and add him into the mix. So what we'll do is, this seems to be the ideal place. We will hook into here, and we will check object player 1 object 2 and player 2 object 2, and let's see if we have, we do have RAM set up. I just can't remember if it was if we had to make a custom one or if they already had RAM. I know they have an ID already, a character ID specified in RAM for the second player. Okay, so we'll just do this. We'll use these locations since we already got them. This would be the second object for player 1 and the second object for player 2. So we should probably do this within this 2v2 deal. So we keep all of this within the same routine. We're not jumping back and forth. So, alright, so first things first, let's see, flip in into next one. Okay, so alright, so we will do, we can take this to-do list off here, because we've already fixed the dead guy not dying, and, we will hook into this area to add our second objects to the gravity mix. You know, I think about this, and this is just for the gravity deal. So the velocity, the horizontal velocity is kind of a different story, but that may or may not need to be addressed in here. We'll find out. I know I might have to address that on some moves, because if you time your tag just at the right time, the opponent will actually fly in the opposite direction. That's because when the velocity is assigned, it goes through that compare location routine, and say if I uppercut a guy and I want to send him to the right, it's going to be a positive value because I'm on the left side. But say if I tag a guy and my teammate's coming in from the right side, that compare might actually be compared to the new player that's entering instead of the old one, which in turn would invert that velocity and send him in the wrong direction. But that's a totally different issue. We will get to that as well. Oh man, I can't tell you all the secrets there, pimp. You gotta figure that out. I can't tell you all the secrets. I can show the stream, but I can't tell you all the secrets. Alright, so let's go with 4B70. So we want to be careful of this because actually, let's do this. We can do that FF80. So we're going to hook right here. FF80 for a BO. And do we want to call? Do we want to jump? What do we want? Let's do a jump for now. Let's do what is going on with that? That's not what I wanted. Let's call this gravity application. And before we forget, let's go in here and move in a nice description. This applies gravity to the objects outside to our second character set. That sounds good enough. So let's see, first of all, let's do let's replicate our bytes. And if that equals 0, we will do check player 1 second character. So we want to do call, what was that, FF80. Should probably define that so we're not typing that out. We can do F80 5810. And that's going to be more of just a gravity deal. It's going to be, actually, we don't want all that for our second character, do we? We don't want boundaries left and right. We just want the gravity to make sure gravity is applied. Alright, so we don't want this full routine for the second set of characters because they may reside outside of the boundaries. Which is fine if they're not in play. So all we need is this little right here, FF80 59EO. For our active objects, we definitely need to make sure they're in play, so they can't wander outside of the boundaries and have a little boundary break. Alright, so let's define this first. Let's define this routine. Let's see, let's go up to our factory definitions. Routines, and let's see if we got a nice category for these. I don't, so I'm just gonna put it here. I'm gonna regulate. No, let's see, what can we use for this description for checking our boundaries? Boundary check. Alright, that's fine. Alright, this shares the objects of the object in A2 is within the stage boundaries and also applies gravity if applicable. If I spell, okay. So that'll be boundary and gravity apply. So we can go in here and we can just do that. And for our second set of character, which is going to be outside of the screen, we don't care if he's outside the boundaries of the map, because sometimes he will, especially if he's tagging in from, let's say, a side and we are on our backs against that side or something like that. they'll definitely be jumping in from outside of the boundary. Hey, what's up there, HSB Gen? What we have to do is we have to check, first of all, let's get player 1's second object, which would be in CRAM, and player 1 object 2, and that'll be A2, and jump of equal. We will make this one here. Well, that's not right. Check CPU. It's definitely not what I wanted to name it. We want to check player 2 second character. I think what happens is when I do the underscore, it auto completes. So that's what it is. Alright, so if we don't have an object in player 1's second character, we'll check player 2's and move CRAM object 2 into A2. I'm going to borrow this routine again. This is just the end of this routine for our gravity application. My day has been great, HSB Gen. Thanks for the donation I got earlier. I appreciate that. All right, so we have our hook here. We're going to jump in, replicate our bytes of player 1 object. That's going to check if it has an object. If not, it's going to jump to check player 2. select the second object, which doesn't make any sense because you really can't have a second object for player 1 if he doesn't have a first one. But, you know, it'll work the same way. So it'll go to player 1 second character. It's going to check to see if it has an object. If it does, it's going to apply the gravity to it. If it doesn't, it's going to jump to player 2 and check his second object, which again, he should not have a second object if player 1 doesn't, but I guess it could be kind of like a future proofing, because maybe we do a little game mode where we have like a 10 character endurance or something. You know, that would play right into that very well. So this is the first part of the gravity. The second one is going to be the actual reading of this velocity value. That'll be next. So we can do, let's go back up here. And this next location would be for a EO, which we don't want. Kind of want to jump back to 4B10. So let's do oh, I'm trying to put manual opcodes in there instead of the instruction. Alright, so that'll be 4B10, which should be right. That's right. But let's do, instead of a jump, let's do a call. And then we can just do a return here. That's part 1, gravity application. So that should change our velocity. We might not need a part 2 because if we keep our object within the actual chain, the object chain of that layer, it should automatically apply those changes to it. So let's find out. Let's build this and go through it and make sure everything's working the way it should be. If so, we should have gravity applied to the character that we are killing before or as soon as his new teammate jumps in to avenge his death. Let's see, what is that hook? 5590. And that's good. And we have a knop. That's good. We'll have to have 3 knops after this one, so we don't do some duplicate codes there. So 5950, FFF9. That's good. Alright, so at this point, let's do this. Let's get rid of the old build. We don't want 3 builds going. We can do 2 builds. 2 builds is fine at once. But 3 starts getting a little out of hand and unnecessary. So we'll pause that one. Alright, so let's see here. Let's just do Get tired of seeing Sonya, Katana, and Scorpion, and Nightwolf. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is let's put a breakpoint on this and go through this velocity or gravity and stage cycle routine or stage boundary routine. Alright, so player 2's object is 0. Player 2 is 0, and player... Oh, I'm sorry, look, we got a typo. We got player 1's object here. Let's fix that. And so I don't forget to update my hotfix, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer that over right now. And I'll build it and I'll relaunch it. Just get rid of that old one. Get the new one up there. Alright, so let's get this breakpoint back going. Alright, so that's player 1. Am I missing something there? Did I not see the... Maybe it was tricks being played on my eyes here, but I didn't see the second characters.
Excellent. Nightwolf, Sonya. Smoke, Scorpion. Round 1. Fight.
Oh yeah, so we definitely have some something going on there. So let's see what's going on, because our second fighters did not... Well, I think I saw him for a split second. And let's see when they spawn in here. Okay, so this is player 1's second character. So 103 CA50. Let's see what he's doing. Oh, I see the problem right now. That object has a... What is that referencing? It's got something in the 20 offset, which is expected to be velocity, but it's got an address. It looks like to be in the address range of a procedure, and we punch that up. Looks like the procedure is 109, the ID. What is 109? What are we doing here? 109, we have something, but there's no description. Alright, so let's back it up just a little bit. Let's see when that's created. And see why that control process address was put in there. Alright, so let's put a bookmark here. This is going to our breakpoint. This is going to break before we even get to our original routine. This is when it's being made. So A9 holds our character ID, which is 12. This is going to create the object. So let's go in here. Okay, so this is the 109 probably that we're seeing. Because the instance of 109 being assigned here is going to create a thread. So our next table is going to be at 103C840. So let's put that C840. We'll make sure it's formatted. Okay, it's not fully formatted yet, but it's about to be as it goes down this list here. As you see, everything's been wiped, so that's good. Process our palette. I don't see anything going into the 20 offset yet. Nothing here. Let's create our object. Still looking for the 20. Oh, there it is, right there. This is what's doing our velocity in right here. It's putting that thread creation of that object in there. So let's do this. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I don't think it's needed. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll see what happens. Jump back out of here and come back through here for player two. Player one's second object. This is player two's. (108). What is that? 103 CA50. A2 and A2. Oh, so this is player 2. Okay, we were working on player 2 second object the whole time, so player 2 is what we're looking for changes. Alright, so yeah, we wiped out player 2's pointer, so it shouldn't do anything there. And so let's play this and see what happens. So I'm not really sure why they are putting that process at the 20 offset. I don't feel like it's needed at all. I'm sure they didn't just put that in there for no reason, so I have to find out why. It seems like it's just a generic procedure when the object is created. Maybe the 109 is the procedure that keeps the segments together. They are multi-segment objects. Alright, so now let's test the rest of it. Alright, so that does seem to fix our velocity, which is great. So, what we have to do is find out why that's being assigned into the 20 offset of the objects. See if we can zero that out, because if it's not zeroed out and it's going to hold an address to a process, our routine is actually taking that value for a gravity value. So that's why our players are disappearing. So we can do a couple things. We can either null that out to 0, or we can kind of see how it's different from the original players being created, because they have a 0 there, and it's perfectly fine because that is their expected location for gravity application. So we can also do a check if gravity, that routine for the flip in, the gravity check for the second set of characters, we can check to see if it is pre-round. If it is pre-round, then we can set that to 0. But that may or may not cause some problems on the road. Or we can just go into the tag mode where the characters are created, and after they are created, we can null that out, like right here, because if we get out of there, and that address is 103.8E80. 8E80. Do I have that right? 103.8E80. Oh, I'm a little premature there. 103C840. So, you can see here it's already got the address to the process already in store. So, we can wipe that there, or we can do this. Let's do a breakpoint on create character. Hopefully it's the same as the second set of characters. It's used for the first set of characters, and we can see how they're created to see how they handle that process being made. Maybe that process isn't made at all for the primary fighters. Maybe it's not used on the first set of fighters at all. They don't seem to be, because unless they were created before we created our save state, then they don't seem to be, but we can probably get that to happen here at the character select screen as well. Okay, so yeah, this is where our characters are created. So let's see. Let's see, that is 103.52BO. Let's see what they have. They have 0 at the 20 offset, which is good. Oh, check that out. 0 and the A10, A10 and the 20. So there it has that offset. It's gonna update our character layer. Yeah. Model 352 BO. Going down the list here and seeing alright, so select some characters here and check out that process here too. C840. Okay, this is our custom routine. So we've already been through here. So they're using a different method for the actual fighters. They're not doing the process assignment in the 20 offset, which I knew they wouldn't, or they would wipe it later if they did. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just do when our characters are created. We'll make sure that that offset is clear, so it doesn't get that applied as gravity. All right, so let's go to let's minimize that. Okay, yeah, we're over here, that's right. Let's see, let's go back up here where our characters are being created. Spawn flip out, that's the routine, okay. This is where the game round starts and it spawns our characters and we make them flip out. So it happens right after we create that character, the create character routine. So you can see here our table would be at 103 C840 and they currently have nothing in that, but as soon as we return from this create character routine, we jump out of it, we see that later in the routine it actually did assign that value to that offset. So after the create character right here, we're just going to wipe that area, and it looks like we're restoring A11, so A11 should be good to use. We'll clear that, move A11 into the 20 offset of A8, and we're going to make sure that's 32 bits. We'll put that little thing there. Clear gravity. Second character set, and that should do that, and we'll put a bookmark here for oh, look at all these bookmarks, we got 7 of them. Alright, so that's current. And we'll put another note, clear offsets. That's used for velocity. So our second character will not fall off screen at stage load. That little note in there as well. And what we can do is also let's 108.78 DO. Take a little dive in here. Let's see what's going on. Let's take a look at that process.
Round 1. Fight.
So this is the process sleep here. So if we zero it out, it's just going to go back and reset. Okay. Let's see, 103 C840. As we do is we can probably bring this into play here. We can do, so there's Scorpion. We got him into play over here. And this is the object up here that had that relation set assigned to it. So I really don't see what it's being used for right now. So we're just gonna roll with what we got here. Yeah, we're gonna roll with that. So we're gonna clear that out offset so our new routine won't have a problem with it. So let's do that. AO, just double checking my hooks here, make sure we're good, since I added a little bit to it. 70, okay, that's all good. And we'll update this because this, actually this is, do we update this at all? Notification. We do that just in case as well. What's up there, Arturo? How you doing? $55.90, that one's good. Let's check this one out. Make sure this one's still good. We have $959.50, 3 knops. Alright, so we should be good on that. Let me build this and we'll run it, and our pre-round characters should now be good.
Excellent.
And if you're new to this, on the UMK3 stream I have 2 builds of MAME. One is better for debugging, one is better for the custom graphics. So you might notice it may seem there's graphics missing. It's just in this build of MAME, because in the normal build that one would use to play the game, they would be there.
Sector. Jade. Sector.
Double sectors. Alright, let's save that.
Round 1. Fight.
Alright, characters are good. What I'm going to do is, let's get a save state here. We're just going to check our velocity stuff. Looking good, looking good. Did I lose special moves here? I just swore his uppercut was forward, forward, low kick. Yeah, okay. When do I lose it? Right there, when the second player comes in. Okay. So we'll have to look into that. So what's the move for Jade here? Back forward low punch. Okay. So let's see if Jade also loses her special ability in the second character. Oh, that's odd.
Round 2. Fight. Sector.
Oh, it's my second. Oh no, he's working. Must be a delay between, like a recovery delay. Oh, you know what? Maybe. I think I know what this is. I've been here before. I've done this MK2. So what's happening here? Let me show you. So what's happening? I think are the timestamps, which are being because let's see. Let's pull up a couple of RAM windows here. Alright, so let's go to factory definitions, go to RAM, And we'll do player 1. And timestamp for moves. First, let's grab our control thread. So, alright, let's see our control thread. Let's check our instance first. So we've got let's see, 107 EE10. So let's go check that out. Our instance is 1, and if we press start, we have 107 EO30. Okay, that instance is 1 as well, which is good because that instance plays a big deal with our button stuff for timestamps and whatnot. What we want to check is our object instance though, because let's see, make sure that's 1 as well and not maybe 3 or 4. Um, 103 CA50. And I want to say it's 1CO, so that would be CC10. Let's see, that is 0, so maybe that is good. Let's do this. Let's put this object next to that one, and then we'll put a new window for the current one, 103 8C70 over here. And looks like we got 7 there, and that offset for that would be 8030 for that one. That's 0 as well. Alright, so those are good. Seems to be only so now I can't do my kick, so we've got to check into that. So what we'll do is this is still our primary character too. So let's do this. Let's go to let's see, so we are looking, let's see, input. I could have swore I had input. Input. No. Let's pull up another build of mine and actually over here, recent files. There we go. This is something I created a while. It's a flexible base. But I do have a lot of really good bookmarks, as you can see. Alright, so we'll look at the input for low kick because that is what button is pressed for sector, and sector is what character? 7. So 0, 1, 2. Okay, so it's going to be FF9D. So we use that as a breakpoint. So when we press low kick with sector, that is going to be the routine that we are given. And it's going to look for a few requirements before the move is done. And we want to see what is not working. Alright, so this is going to be the input. Actually, let's get out of this. This is... Okay, that's going to be our input. Our inputs are good. Hits against opponent. Oh wow. Our hits against opponent is 3,800. So that's the problem, it seems like. Because if it's 2 or higher, it's not going to allow us to do the teleport punch. So that's the problem. So let's go back through that hits against opponent routine and see what's going on. So that's what it is. We have to clear the offset, which is used for hits when the other player jumps into the screen, or else it'll always stay put on the last value, because we had 2 hits on Jade, I'm assuming, and that's why it's not allowing us to do that move, because it checks for how many hits. Let's see, 170. Actually, let's see what's been pulling. 10. That's the opponent of Sector, which it's saying Jade had 2 hits on us when she died. So AO is 107 EO 30, and it's so let's do this. 107 EO 30, and I think that's what it was, anyways. E3 CO. Yeah, 3,800. Saying we have 3,800 hits. Obviously, there's an error. So let's check that out again. So currently, player 2. Let's double check that. Make sure it's Jade's, or to see if it's Cabal's control structure that it's checking, because we may have to format that 390 location for the new player jumping in. That sounds more viable. All right, so we'll go in here. We'll get the control. E810 is player 1. So we'll do player 2, and that one is 107 39 BO, so it definitely is different. And if we were to look at that one, and plus 390 would be at 3D40. Like I said, I must have had an update on Windows that did something with the calculator. I can't copy my value with Control C for some reason. Alright, so that's Jade's current position. 3D40, she's got no hits on me. So the new one jumping in is going to be Cabal. He just needs, looks like, to have his 390 offset formatted. So what we'll do in that case is we have flip in. So let's find 190. So our new thread table is empty in the areas we need. No, we don't want that. What we want is We want the fighter died. So we want the new guy coming in. We gotta format his hit. Probably his combo too, as a matter of fact, because I think I've seen some combo stuff going wonky as well. And this only runs when a character has died, so when the new character is flipping in, not when we tag. So what we can do is, an easy way to do this would be, let's see, we don't have to worry about which side it is, because when this process is made, it's always going to have the location of the process in A0. So what we can do is, we can do something like clear A1, move A1 into the offset of 390, and then we probably also want to do the hits just to be safe, and that was, I think, 370 maybe. What is that? Yeah, 370 is the damage. Okay, so we'll do the damage as well. Okay, so that should take care of that in the flip-in process. So if we were to go in here, let me breakpoint this because I want to see this structure as it's being made. Okay, so this is the structure being made for Cabal 10871 EO. Wait, 71 EO, and I didn't want to do that. Let me try to get 10871 EO, and we'll do 370 for the offset. That's going to be the combo or the damage. Alright, so 10878 DO. 5 AO. Make sure I got my right. I should know this by heart. Make sure I have the right one. So we got 107 D250. Oh, I don't. 107 D250. 107 D5 CO. Yeah, so currently there is no value there. Alright, let's see, 105. Alright, so I'm gonna run through, make sure we're good. We're gonna get hits. 107 D250 plus 390 is 4D. Oh, okay, so yeah, that's 4D. 4D. Oh, okay. So if we went ahead and cleared this like we already have going in our routine, we should be able to do our kicks again. Okay, so that should fix that problem also. What's up there, Ruben? But you like Beta 1. Why? Tell me, Ruben, why you like Beta 1, which has less stuff to it than Beta 2? Just out of curiosity, why do you like Beta 1 better than Beta 2 and MK2? Alright, so let's put that in. Let's test it out. What was that? That was our flip-in thread, right? Yeah, okay, so that's our flip-in thread. Alright, let's get rid of this. Let's go here. FFF94. Alright, so we'll set this up as close as possible. Oops, looks like we have a pace problem here because we are looping. We have to update a hook most likely, so let's do that. Let's see, 55, 90, that one's good. And wait a minute, 59, 50, that's, oh, 59. 59 AO, so there's our problem. So that routine for the gravity application is running during attract mode for some reason. Well, I guess during fights on the attract mode, but there were no fights going on, so I don't know. That thing just runs all the time apparently. Oh well.
Don't make me laugh.
Alright, let's fire this up.
Here we go.
Oh, damn, wrong button. Let's try that again.
Here we go.
Sector. Jade.
Alright, something didn't go according to plan. Let's find out. It might be this thread here because I stopped on this this thread creation the first time. It seemed like it was a little bit different of an address than what I was expecting. So it's probably clearing out the wrong stuff. Sorry, let's find out. So alright, so it's saying 107 C470. And that is going to be our flip in routine. Which is this. Oh, I see. I see. I see what it is. Okay. I forget that when we jump here, when we make this routine, this procedure, this is not the procedure for the character per se. This is for creation of the character's control, and amongst the other things, as in transferring the data and stuff between the structures. All right, so that's what we'll flip in control. We can let's see. We can check our offsets here and probably go through the chain to set the value we need. Let's go refresh our memory here on this. Actually, we got it over here. Let's see, process 42, fire control 230, and this is alright, so let's see where that is stored at. Control ID. It's in the location, so A1's got it, so control thread 1 location. Alright, so we can locate by instance if we want to. It looks like it's going to be the old process instance plus 7770. And that would find it for us, and then we can do it there. Alright, yeah, so if we open up the let's do a breakpoint on A7. That's going to take us up here where we're at in the script screen. And 108/6400. That's the current one. We don't want that. A10 and A1. A8BO. So that's going to be the correct location to format. Ruben, tell me, I want to hear, why do you like Beta 1 instead of Beta 2 for MK2 Plus? I'd be interested into knowing what you like or didn't like about it. Alright, so at this point, since this is not the right procedure that we want to format our combo and damage stuff from, we have to find it. And we can't do it right here because this is the thread, this is the process that is being created that is going to create the process for the new character flipping. So we can't yet do that. What we can do is go back up to this process, but this, we got to be careful, this is used for tagging as well, so we just can't go in there and clear out the combo hits and damage percentage for the new character flipping in, because if we were just tagging our teammate in to come in to maybe do a combo, that's gonna mess it all up. So let me think, how can we differentiate this scenario? We can always add it right here, use A1 to move that clear value over. I'd rather not mess with this routine though. I'd rather do it outside of this, just so I don't have to deal with it if it's not right and having to make more changes to it just because of that. Let's see, flip and control. We can always set an offset value early on in the thread creation that tells us that this procedure is being ran for death of the first character, and if so, then we can format. So let's see. If that were the case, we would put that code up here. Clear incoming fighter's damage and combo hit. If transition due to death of first fighter. But I actually don't need that because that's already going to be an A1. But what we do need is to check for a value and assign a value. Let's put that there. So since that thread is being created right here, we can do, let's see, 2v2 flip in. Let me check the offsets for that. that's going to be, these offsets I believe are all going to be in here. I want to say that's right. Location of object 200, and that is location of object 2 is at 220. So yeah, those line up fine. So we'll find an offset here and we will put it in. We'll make it a transition flag, and then we'll do make a new offset here for can't spell apparently. So we'll add a new one, new variable there, and it's going to be type of transition. And let's see, 0 equals death of fighter, and we'll do 1 equals tag. So if it's true, it's going to be because it's a tag and we do not want to clear. With that being said, we'll go down to 2EO and we will Alright, so this is our flag set here. Let me see here. Okay, we gotta get rid of this here. Alright, so when we're flipping, we're gonna check that flag for get transition type. And I'll probably reiterate what this is. 1 equals death of fighter, 1 equals tag, and we kind of embed that into my memory here. I'm sorry, 0 equals death of fighter. So if it's if it's a 1 or if it's not 0, it's going to clear. Alright, let's try this out.
Here we go.
Sector. Night Wolf. Jade. Round 1. Fight.
So let me see here. So we're out of our process again. What is going on here? 2v2 flip in. 2v2 flip in. Oh, I see why. I see why. Yeah, I'm not sure. Portraits in beta 1. Trying to go back, I can't remember what they initially were. Is that the ones where they just were a palette swap of the original ninjas? Alright, so this should work now. We are locating the actual, let's see, 372. Let's check our error. Move. Yeah. So now, we're locating the 2v2 instance for the correct procedure. Alright, so we gotta do one more step here. It looks like instance, and then we need the offset, which is going to be of it's a little trickier than what I expected it to be, but not a big deal. Yeah, so this is not going to work regardless, just because of the fact that the instance or the process we're looking for to clear isn't even. Yeah, let's see, 2EO, SD, tag instance there. Okay, yeah, that might work. Let me see. Let me go back here and see. Yeah, this locates the actual listener process, and at 220 should be object 2. 220 is object 2. Okay, so that would work. So 2EO. Alright, yeah, so that should be good. So, let's see, 220, and we want to do 2EO to check the flag. Okay, so that should be good. Let's try this again for the third time here. It's a little tricky. We'll get it. We always get it. Let's see, FFF9 4000. We'll update that routine, and let's make sure our jumps are still correct. 5600, and then 5A60 for this guy, and that needs updated. Alright, so let's build. Alright, yeah, so the way this is going to work is this is going to get the let's move this description down, because this is technically this space. This one here is going to find our dead sides tag listener, and it's going to get the instance of the side that's dying, which is set right here, 1 or 2, and this thread's created. It's going to store that instance, so that's where we're getting our instance from again, and then we're going to locate the thread instance, the process instance for our listeners. Each side has a tag listener. The base is 7770, just to be unique. We add that to our instance. That calculates and finds the tag listener process for that side of the dead side, and we're clearing the flag of that listener instance, listener process at 2EO. So when it does do the 2v2 flip in, it goes through here. It's going to locate that tag instance, or that listener instance again. It's going to do a few things. It's going to create the flip in process for the character, and it's going to get down here. It's going to make sure the projectile pointer is cleared out of the flip in control for the character, and then A0 should hold our location for our character's control structure process, and this is where we're checking the flag. Wait a minute, this is yeah, that's not right. That's throwing our that's checking our player flip in control procedure for that flag. We need that flag to be coming from this AO because this is actually being overwrote when this is created. So let's see. It should be okay. It looks like we store it in A11, so that's good. So what we'll do is we'll grab it from A11 like so, and then actually, yeah, we want AO. Okay. So that should work. 5A60. Okay, so no data has been added, so we don't have to update jumps of any kind. We can just paste and go. So yeah, it's a little twisted in there, the way we had to find our correct routines and stuff. Hopefully we got it this time. We had to go through a process of a process of a process, but I guess sometimes that's just the way it is. There, yes, if you're just joining, we are wrapping up some 2 versus 2 bugs for tag team. One of them happened to be the special moves not working because our hit count and stuff were not clearing for the new characters coming in. And we look to be good now. Yeah, my emulator is lagging for some reason. So that little move check carries over because it's actually held in the opponent, so we can't spam multiple teleports for tags. So if we were to try to tag in and do a teleport out of the air, it's not going to let us. Yeah, so I mean, we can do a tag and teleport from the air naturally, which is cool. See, that was good timing because our character only had one hit there when we tagged in. Yeah, there's a 2-hit limit. If you have 2 hits or more, you will not be able to teleport with Sector, just the way it's coded into the game. Alright, so that's working good. We are definitely getting our bugs knocked out here for 2 versus 2, which is great. I mean, that's one step closer to getting everything ready for beta. Check something out here, let's see. Yeah, we have multiple missiles coming out. That's great. Alright, everything looks to be flowing nicely. It's good. It's good, Scott. It's good to hear you're excited for it. Oh, you see that? That's interesting. Let's see. Let's check that out. Let's see if it does that again. If you didn't catch that, after we selected our characters, it went back to the character select screen. I bet that has to do with the game continuation option. And of course, it didn't do it that time. We'll check that out. So after this match, we will save it. Is there a spear limitation for hits as well? It seemed like it was. I'll have to check that out. It's probably an easy way right here. Yeah, I can't spear after 2 hits probably. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. That's less regulation I have to do with spam moves, so I'm pretty happy about that. looks like there's a 2-hit. Looks like a lot of the moves have a 2-hit limitation. Like I couldn't do his dizziness, his spin there. I want to spam. You spammer.
Well done. Well done. Shiva.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Wait a minute, was that a 3rd hit? Maybe it's my, MAME is running really slow right now for me. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Well done.
Okay, so it definitely didn't let me do that.
Well done.
Okay, well, it looks like I got 3 hits there before I can spear, huh? Yeah, that combo display, I have to dig into that original combo display and see how it dictates the display. That way we can adjust it to our combo, or our tags. Trying to do the MK2 inputs for the smoke fatality. Alright, so this is, looks like we're missing a little section of our selector there. So this is where we're gonna save and check to see if it goes back to the character select screen. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So that's great. We can reproduce that problem. Alright, so 2v2 flip in. We will call that good for now. We'll close that script, and the tag script, we'll call that good. We'll close that, and then what I want to do is probably pull open our settings for the continuation. So this redirect us back to the character select screen. More pallets for the spinning person. Are you talking about Cabal's move, I'm assuming? No, I guess that's never really crossed my mind. But I really like pallets. I love doing pallets, so maybe I'll just do it for fun one day when I'm bored. Let's see, so we want to do, you want to check the game continuation option. Let's see, I want to say it's going to be in settings. Combat codes, routine, stage rotation plus setting. Is it in this one? I don't think I put it in here. Yeah, that's not right. No, it's not this one. It's not that one either. Let's see, where did I put that option? this is definitely not it. I don't know why I was in the new character select screen, but storyboard, biographies, table, some tables, okay, character arrays. Could be main menu. Let's jump out original, assignment game 14, load stage. No, that's not it either. Where did I put that option at? Main menu, main clear graphics, clear path. Maybe we'll do a combat code master. Think about that. Maybe like a combat code to remove hit limits. It may lead to maybe combo. To do something special, because the easiest way would be to just wipe the combo hits. If you want an accurate combo display, it might not be so easy, just because it seems like all the moves that have that limiter would have to go through and put code into every one of those routines. Alright, so where in the hell did I put the routine for what's up, Gustavo? Let's see, we could do I thought it was at the main menu, but it wasn't, because I originally was going to put it at the main menu, but I think I changed my mind here. Let's see, assignment, game stage, and bottom original. Ah, yeah, I looked right at it. I must have just, man, jumped right out of it. So what we need here is I'm guessing this is going to be where it's going to hit when we do. Let me select our character. No, that was not. I'm going to guess we have a PC exchange, which has not been popped from the stack, or not from the stack, but A12. Alright, so the first part of that seems to be fine. It does go back to the character select screen here when you press start, rather than going back to the main menu. But did it ever go back to the main menu on 2 versus 2? Can somebody tell me that? After a match is over. Does it normally go back to the game mode selection? After a 2 versus 2 match is over? Or is that only when you're playing 1v1? What's up there, gamer? Yeah, I agree, Master. I like the combos on Killer Instinct. Alright, so if you just tuned in, we're done with 2v2 bugs. I'm not going to say all of them because there's probably more bugs that haven't been found yet by me. This hasn't been tested yet by Michael and Ryan or Victor. I'm sure they'll find a lot more stuff that needs to be fixed. For the most part, it seems to be pretty reliable. Right now we're looking into this bug here of after we select our character, after continuing, it directs us to the character select screen again. So that's what we're hunting down. And this code here is what's ran when you press start. I'm guessing but let's see, if we were to go to I think that's what we need. So let's find this character select screen, and we need to redirect a new PC Exchange address from here, which is easy to find. We'll just come down here and actually not here. What we want is probably going to be in the new character select screen, because that has what we need, which is going to be let's do this. This is probably the easiest thing. Load character select screen. So we'll do that, and we will find our jump back position. This is going to check our, this is our main menu, so we're good on that. We want this right here. Alright, and then after that, we want to find the PC Exchange, which we're going to jump back. Which is right here. This is where we're going to be after we select our characters. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, the PC Exchange. So we need to push that address into our code at the main menu. So what we're going to do is remove that one, which is currently in there, and then move FF80, 9920, and A7. Then we'll move A7 and to negative value of A1. And so when we return after selecting our characters, now it should jump here rather than popping the character select screen. So let's try that out. Let's put this in. And let's make sure I do it. Let's see, that jump's good. Let's make sure that this jump is good. This should be good. I don't think this is affected by our code length at all. So that's good. So let's build and run this. Let's do a 2v2 and then continue and see if it works or if it crashes. I probably should have kept that up there just for reference, but alright, so this is tied to this option here. This is going to be an option in the game. If you're unaware, that when you press start to continue, you have the option to go straight to the character select screen and stay within the same game mode, or go back to the game mode selection screen. So
Here we go.
Sonya's got some short range. I mean, look at that. Look at this punch that squarely hits but doesn't count. You'll see it. Alright, so break point there. Okay, good. We gotta put. There we go. Let's see where it goes. Perfect. Looks like it went where it was supposed to go. I don't know any of Sonya's moves. Well, I know two of them, I guess. Yeah, I think you're right, Master. Drew might have resolved that. I'm not sure. I know we've mentioned it. I just can't recall if it's been done yet. try again, just to make sure we're good. Looks like we're good. We're going solid. Obviously, we don't have all the graphics on this build of MAME. That's for the other version of MAME. That's why you're not seeing a background, because this is the bank, which we don't have graphics being loaded on this version of MAME. Alright, so that's another bug fixed. So far, so good.
Here we go.
Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Round one. Fight. Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Round one. Fight.
What is his pop-up combo,
Victory.
by the way? I've been trying it last couple matches and I can't get it.
Round one. Fight. Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Round one. Round one. Fight. Round one. Smoke.
Alright, Master, I'll keep that in mind for next time I'm playing.
Well done.
Alright, so
Excellent.
I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Got pretty much everything I wanted to get accomplished and then some. So that's awesome.
Superb. Pristine.
So next time, we'll play some more and see if we can find some bugs and maybe get this to the testers and have them check it out. Because I'm sure they'll find me some tag bugs. So the sooner we get that wrapped up, the sooner we can get get this beta out. So should have been out a while ago, but things happen, I guess. Sidetracked here and there, but we'll get this as soon as possible. That way you guys can enjoy it. So, good night, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.